Hey everybody, welcome to etrailer.com. I'm Bobby, and today we're taking a look at the RetraxONE XR hard tonneau cover here today at etrailer.com. So this is going to be an awesome way, guys, for going ahead and giving yourself a very nice tonneau cover. As you guys can see, though, we actually are able to get an entire crossbar system, a roof rack combo with all our accessories on here, and that's all thanks to this little system right here, this T-slot system that's going to be on our side rails here for our tonneau cover. It's going to go ahead and allow us to mount up a crossbar system. That's going to be excellent, as you guys can see, to go ahead and really start maximizing the amount of space you have with the bed of your truck. In my opinion, that's always been the kind of the bad or the negative of tonneau covers, is that it kind of cuts out a lot of that bed space, right? We start losing a lot of that. With this guy, we actually can go ahead, start putting up a host of different accessories on top of our bed. That's going to be excellent for kayak carriers as well, obviously bike carriers. And we've gone ahead and thrown up a Yakima Skinny Warrior on here. And what's great about this can become great little quick access points, right? Your tonneau cover is going to be great for your bigger items, those coolers, everything you want to go ahead and get inside your bed. But this way, I can go ahead, quickly access my gear that I might have. Maybe we're at the trail, we want a little bit of water. We can go ahead, give ourselves just a nice little refreshment right there. Awesome that we have that quick access because we have the entirety of the top of our bed still available to us. Now, while you might want that quick access, you guys can see right here underneath this latch that we do have a locking cord to go ahead and actually keep this locked, so that way you don't have to bust out the keys and get your quick items that you want. And this is going to be excellent to go ahead and secure all of your things on the inside of your truck. As long as, of course, you do have a way of locking that tailgate, it's going to be excellent to go ahead and give you a little bit of security for those items in the bed of your truck. What's nice about it too, got a hard, durable polycarbonate top layer here, and the metallic nature of it, and those nice support bars are going to give you a lot of great security. Nobody's going to be able to take a knife, cut it open, and get your things like a regular canvas. It is going to be nice and protected. Now, that polycarbonate as well resists UV rays really, really well, so you're not going to be seeing this. I know, like me, as a kid, I'd always see my dad's tonneau cover start just kind of getting baked by the sun, and over time, just starts cracking and peeling, and overall just not looking good. What's going to be great about this, it is going to be resisting that degradation that you might be having with it just being on the top of your bed here. Now, the big thing for me with this tonneau cover as well, of course, it is retractable. So all we have to do is release that lock. Now, of course, normally you're going to have to go ahead and actually unlock it with your keys, but that's going to allow me to shift this guy. As you guys can see, very, very easy to do so. Yes, it's manual, but because those bearings are so well greased, you can see it kind of wants to slide on its own. And as that weight of this system kind of pulls it, you actually can find that it actually kind of shifts on its own. You can see how that movement's actually working there. I'm really not giving it too much. The only thing I'll say with your roof rack system, you are going to have to kind of watch this little latch. Here in the Rhino rack, we have just a slight little issue here. Now, if we gave it, it's going to move because this latch wants to move, right? However, I don't really want to be damaging this, so all I have to do, kindly just gently press that in. That's going to allow me to actually move this down. What's awesome about this as well, you can actually lock this in any position. So right there, all we have to do, close it, and now it won't move, as you guys can see. What that becomes great for, maybe you do have a ladder system or maybe a lawnmower in here that you don't want bouncing around. You can go ahead, bring your tonneau cover, that cover right up to it, lock it in place, and that gives it a nice little backing to go ahead and hold it in place in the bed of your truck. Now, talking about the capabilities of your roof rack system, you can go ahead and throw in the bed of your truck. Now, the tonneau cover itself has about a 200-pound weight capacity limit. What's happening there? You are clamping on your sidewall, so we don't want to put too much pressure right on the top of this guy. So I think that's what's kind of limiting you on that weight. However, most times you're going to be limited by your roof rack's capabilities. Now, the Rhino racks we have on here today have about 165 pounds of dynamic carrying capacity. So keep that in mind when you are kind of weighing out what kind of roof rack systems you want to get up on here. I might suggest something a little bit more heavy duty, something that can really maximize at 200 pounds. However, we definitely don't want to be exceeding that. And of course, you can go ahead and make sure, just make sure you're not putting too much pressure here in those sidewalls. Again, we don't want to be damaging our truck. Now, when your cover is fully extended, you do have this nice little felt cover in here. That's going to create a nice little seal between your bulkhead and your canister and yourself here. What's nice about that, we're not going to have any kind of water intrusion. However, as we do go to roll this up, you are going to see that's going to disappear, right? Allowing our cover to actually slide into our canister. Now, what's cool about that though, it does have this nice little spiral technology in there that they have going. Basically all it's doing, making sure that we're not having constant contact between our cover and ourselves. Gonna have to give it a little bit there, as you guys can see, to utilize that lock. But that's going to be nice because actually as we have water that's going to be draining inside there, we do have some drain tubes that are going to make sure that we're not going to have any water build up, and therefore we're not going to have any water actually getting to the bed of our truck. Now, the awesome advantage of this guy is that storage container that's actually underneath here. So obviously we're leaving all this room up here open and available to ourselves. That becomes excellent, of course, as you guys can see here, for our accessories. They're not going to have to be working for room with that big old canister in the way. Especially you start comparing this to those trifold tonneau covers, they really start impacting your vision out of that window, and you can't really drive that effectively with them up because you don't have that vision on there. So that's definitely kind of an encumbrance. Really like how it's stored and out of the way. Now that is going to kind of impact your bed space a little bit. So let's go ahead, see how much room we're actually taking from our bulkhead here. So I know that I have this set on our edge a little bit, so I'm going to go ahead and give ourselves just a little bit of variance here. And that looks like it's going to be putting you at 13 1/4, probably 13 1/2 from your bulkhead at home. So if you guys want to measure that, give yourself about 13 1/2 inches. It's probably going to be a little bit below that, but that gives you a good room to start working with. Let's go ahead, hop in the truck, and see how much of the room the canister is taking up in our bed. So at the first part here, before our slant starts taking over in our canister, you got about 14 1/2 inches there to the very edge. However, you don't really have too much room on this slant. So really, the guy you really need is going to be right here. And that puts you about 10 1/2 inches there of amount of space between your beds. So keep in mind, you are losing a lot here at the top, but I really like how we're not impacting our vision. And it's really nice that we actually still have this open space. The only thing to watch out for is going to be your drain tubes. Now, you could go ahead and if you really wanted to, store those a little bit better, but it's just really easy to go ahead and drain them out. One thing I really like about this being retractable and having these crossbar systems, I actually can hop in the bed of my truck and start servicing my accessories and my gear that's stored on it. So that becomes really easy, of course, to go ahead, make sure we're nice and secure here in our bike carrier. Now, it might be a little bit more unwieldy too to go ahead and get this bike off from this position. If you do have the height, getting it from the side can be great as well. But you guys can see this is pretty up there, right? We are in our F-150 here today, and that definitely starts adding that height that's kind of be hard to get these bikes off of. So it could be nice to hop in here, start actually taking this down and then walking it off. The only thing, you do have to kind of work your way through these crossbar systems as well. But what I really like, I can go ahead and access all my gear up on top. Makes it really easy to run through any of my ratchet straps or cam buckle systems to go ahead and start securing all of our accessories and all of our gear. All right, guys, now speaking about installation, how long does this take to get in here? I'd probably put it at roughly between an hour, hour and a half, maybe up to 2 hours if some things are kind of holding you up. However, really all you're doing, going ahead and getting your rails attached here to your canister. It's just a couple simple screws to go ahead and get that in place, as well as this top cover plate. And then the biggest thing, getting a second pair of hands to go ahead and set this in place. Just walking from the tailgate up, setting in at the same time, and then adjusting your side rails appropriately. If you're following those instructions along, it's going to be really easy. You just need about 1/8 of an inch spacing between your tailgate here, and you actually can use some of the included packaging to go ahead and actually give you that right measurement, just to get it butted up and make sure you're aligned. The one thing I will say, make sure you're taking the distance between your side rails at 3 points throughout your structure. That's going to go ahead and let you know that you are in line and in track, and that's going to make sure your cover can slide out easily with no snags. So how you can make sure it is appropriately spaced going across, you have these little white spacers here. These are going to actually go ahead and push you either away or pull out and let you to sink in close to your sidewall. That way you guys are properly aligned. Once you do have that measurement though, you can go ahead and start utilizing our clamp system here. So you can see we have this nice little support bar here with a nice rubber stopper. That's giving us our contact against our sidewall, giving us a nice solid foundation for our clamp to go ahead and get a little pressure from. And then all we have is this little clamp right here and here. This guy's going against our factory rail system there. A little sidewall there, and that's actually clamping onto our tonneau rails and holding it in place, making sure it's nice and secure. Overall, I am a really big fan of this guy. I love that we don't have that space that's being added on here. Again, you can look at those trifold tonneau covers if you're wanting somewhat similar, however, maybe something that's not breaking the bank. However, I just don't really like how much vision we get lost in here. And again, can't beat having those accessories on there and really maximizing the amount of space that your truck can handle. Well, guys, I think that about does it for our look at the RetraxONE XR hard tonneau cover here at etrailer.com. I'm Bobby. Thank you for watching.